Assalamu alaikum. My name is Zahid and I am the organizer. Today we are going to discuss on the topic that the media is governed by unknown forces. We all know that the media has taken all over the world and has modernized the world. It has become second nature for us to pick up our phones and log on to our social media profile immediately after waking up. But as the days are passing by, we are noticing that the media is now being governed by some unknown forces. These unknown forces are changing media and using it as a weapon against all. Now, who are these unknown forces and why do that? And what benefits they gain by doing this? And how do they do this? They always operate behind the curtain. They never come and show their face because as they will show their faces, their image will be ruined. These unknown forces are still unknown to us, but many journalists have indirectly talked about them, and most people know about them. I think the whole nation and the whole world knows about them, who they are, what they do, but what the people don't know about them is that they are the unknown forces.
Assalamualaikum. I am Osama and I will be the helper in this discussion. I want to add a piece of information that the word media has, which has four different types in it: print, broadcast, outdoor, and internet. These all types of media are under control by unknown forces. These forces are using the media in the way that they want. I think that these forces are doing is this because they want to capture everyone in their trap. For this, they are controlling the most precious thing of human, which is data, the second oil of the world. What they are exactly doing, they are just storing the data and waiting for the best time to utilize that. Now coming towards the part that is most shocking for me when I am getting prepared for the topic. That is the analysis from my side that the, they wanted to make the new government the one world government in which they will be controlling each and every aspect of life.
My name is Mohammed and I am the idea creator of this discussion. By unknown forces, we have in mind that these forces are politicians, armies, celebrities, businessmen, and other upper class people who use the media for their personal interests. If you ask me about these forces, my answer is that they are politicians who use their money to control the media. There are four main categories of financial strategies and tactics that politicians use to dominate the media sector. First, public funding for state administrated media. Second, state advertising. Third, state subsidies. Fourth, market disruption measure. However, differences exist between all these forms of funding. In the case of state subsidies, this is probably the most discretionary form of state funding for media. Governments decide to allocate state subsidies to media as they wish. Usually, media avoid topics that could hurt authorities. This is the case in countries where there are few alternative independent media for citizens to get informed. Politicians use money from their own budget or from state-owned companies to run social campaigns and or advertise products and services offered by companies they own. In reality, they use this money to basically buy favors from the media and journalists. In short, everything we see read here will be through a parent mouthpiece of the government. Usually, politicians buy media obedience with money in the form of state subsidies. We can summarize this point by saying that control the money, control the media.
My name is Zain, and my role is questioner. So my first question is how celebrities, businessmen, industrialists influence the media, and how has the media benefited politicians?
My name is Ahmed and I'll be the energizer for this discussion. Money, control media. Media is another form of money in politics. Politicians use direct and indirect funding to capture media. Politicians use funds to make sure how to control the media on the basis of what to cover and what not to, or whether it should be biased or scripted. The politicians are the main players in this game who let these media outlets run with creating lots of money for their support, such as for the political campaigns and to take all the attention of the public. Nowadays, we see everything apparent as the mouthpiece of government and politicians definitely showing how it is funded.
My name is Naz and I'll be the clarifier. Although it is an inevitable truth that the media is controlled by the government and the powerful politicians, but one should not ignore the fact that many people with powerful backgrounds other than politics influence the media in many aspects. such as businessmen and people from business industries, often force the media with money or power, whatever possible for them, to show a positive sides of them to the audience. They often offer the media to advertise their products and hide its calamity with a promising reward. This not only affects people's reliability on media, but also a feeling of distrust and abhorrence in them is developed.
My name is Naveed Hakim, and I will be playing the role of factual contributor in this group discussion. Yes, it is obviously absolutely correct. In 1983, most of the American media consisted of 50 different corporations, and in 2011, American media consolidated six big corporations, which include GE, Newscom, Viacom, Disney, Times Warner, and CBC. This shows that big corporations can show whatever they want to show to the public, and none of us can question them.
As we know, media is supposed to uncover the false and keep the people updated. But if unknown forces are governing the media, the purpose of media is likely to change. Politicians may use media to distract the nation in order to hide their faults. The purpose of media might become promotion and advertisement, like media benefits the celebrities for their brands. It is also a bridge marketing opportunity for companies to get the celebrities to endorse their products or service and then send it out to their followers who are diehard fans of what the celebrities are involved in.
Osama, can you help me to understand this point?
Yes, look, in the most countries, the media is controlled by some particular political leader or the present government. If you take the example of China, the whole media is controlled by the government. Not a single news is issued without the permission of government. If I am giving you the example of current scenario related to the coronavirus, everyone knows that China is the first country which is the cause of coronavirus. But but have ever thought that their media never showed the news of the initial cause of the corona? Another thing is this: China, one of the first country who controlled corona, who told us that news, obviously China media. But the person who is living in China's affected areas, they know better than how much they control. We have another example of our country. All media channels are supervised by the businessmen and the government. They never show the news which is against their reputation.
Hello, my name is Muddassir and I am the conflictor in this group. On the point of Zain that politicians throw money to control the media, if all politicians are giving money to the media, then why media is showing the faces of our corrupt politicians? Let us consider the example of our recent Prime Minister back to 2017 Nawaz Sharif. He was the Prime Minister of Pakistan at the time when he was found guilty of being corrupt. If the media is governed by the politician, so he can easily escape from the situation, our media is showing the both the sides and aspects of the people. So, in my opinion, I don't think it is right to say the media is false into the hand of those who have wealth power.
As we all know that the media can easily influence people. That's why media plays a very important role in a presidential election. We know that media has become the most powerful platform. If the media likes a presidential candidate, they can easily influence people to vote for this candidate by using different strategies and advertising campaigns like which news have to cover or which not. Usually, the news is scripted and biased based on the political candidate and the background of that candidate, as well as if the media does not like someone, they can easily destroy his career because of the influence they have on people. In Europe, the government regularly use funds from the European Union to pay for advertising campaigns.
Yes, you are right. Democracy requires informed citizens. In a representative democracy, the role of the press is twofold. It both informs citizens and sets up a feedback loop between the government and voters. The press makes its actions of the government known to the public, and voters who disapprove of current trends and policy can take corrective action in the next election. Without the press feedback, loop is broken, and the government is no longer accountable to the people. The press is therefore of the utmost importance in a representative democracy.
Zain, I agree with your point that a lot of money is spent by a political party during an election campaign to promote their party. They can hire celebrities, news channels to show their good side to the people because people are highly influenced by them. Celebrities are always part of the show in every presidential elections. Since celebrities have a lot of fan following, they can easily be used to promote, advertise something, and fans will believe it. So it has become a trend that politicians used to hire them to promote their party, believing that their fans will vote for them. Politicians also hire TV anchors to defame their opposition parties. They can blame them with fake proofs and destroy their reputation because of this public support will be with them.
I have several evidences regarding this. First of all, regarding the celebrities promoting a particular party. In an investigation, Cobra Post exposes 3 dozen social media accounts to help create a buzz in run-up to 2019 election, all for money, including Mika Singh, actors Jackie Shroff, Sunny Leone, comedians Raju Srivastava, and many others. This is the most who's who one of the entertainment industry, both film and TV. Secondly, regarding how Donald Trump won presidential election, who the media campaign, his began with a $2 million investment in Facebook ads. He uploaded the names of Trump supporters first and found them on Facebook. Then he targeted others who had things common with them, such as activity or demographics. These lookalike audience were the key to campaign success, but other type of content, including tens of thousands of different targeted web pages, also played a vital role. In total, Trump's digital team generated or created more than 100K piece of unique content, and this helped him to win the presidential election.
My question is, how do you think that social media and TV channels divide the information?
There are many ways to do so, like the news that helps us to develop our thoughts often comes in chunks. A social media based post is telling half of the information, and on the other side, a TV channel is providing the other half of that news. And in this way, information is shared without proper authentic sources, which not only develop misconceptions among people but may also trigger people's mindsets related to certain things.
The media plays an indispensable role in the proper functioning of democracy. Discussion of media's function with electoral context often focuses on their watchdog role. By unfettered scrutiny and discussion of the successes and failures of candidates, governments, and electoral management bodies, the media can inform the public of how effectively they have performed and help to hold them to count. Yet the media also have other roles in enabling full public participation in elections. An election cannot be deemed democratic unless the public is fully able to participate and is unhindered in exercising choice. As such, the media are vital in ensuring that there is a public, transparent, and the platform for debate and participation of the discussion.
Osama, do you want to add something in order to let us understand this point?
Yes, Naz, we have to simply understand that the social media and the TV channels are the two sides of one face. Information that is available on the social media is one side of the face, and the other side, which is pictured by some political leader, businessman, and industrialist. Have you ever looked critically at the newspaper? If the front page of the newspaper has the news of a new coffee shop initiated by someone, on the other hand, somewhere in the newspaper there were benefits of coffee also mentioned. So this is how all the things are interlinked.
It is true that the media have played an important role in politics since the first advent establishment freedom of the press. Media literacy is 21st century approach to education. It provides a framework to access, analyze, evaluate, create, and participate with the message in a variety of forms. From print to video to internet, media literacy built an understanding of the role of media in society, as well as instill a skill of inquiry and self-expression necessary for the succession of a democracy. Media literacy goes beyond simple increasing the knowledge and skill set of media consumer. However, it also includes targeting information holders such as government officials and more specifically to election. In many countries, free elections are themselves a new phenomena for a large part of Asia and Africa that were once under conical rule. Free and sovereign elections are development of the second half of the 20th century, while for those countries in the former communist bloc they are even more recent than that. Even the countries of Western Europe and Latin America only fully democrat- democratized in the air shortly. Before or after the Second World War, with the extension of the franchise to women, the United States only finally ended limitations on the franchise in 1960. Latin American democratic tradition was blighted by a history of military dictatorship, particularly from the 1960s to the 1980s, a development that was echoed in many countries of Africa and Asia. Some countries, particularly in Europe and North America, have various free press even when the franchise was limited. Other developments independent media only as they were struggling to install a system of elections government. So I think yes, the media is playing an important role to educate people.
Although almost all over the world, the media is governed by government, which has its own advantage and disadvantage. But I believe that the media should not be regulated, as it would mean that there would be no freedom of speech, and this would not allow people to give their own views and opinion. It also means that older and more resourceful members will dominate and use self-regulation to their advantage. For example, the disadvantage of this regulation is first freedom of speech. People are not allowed to give their opinion and point of view. Second, banning of broadcast. In 2009, China banned Twitter for helping to organize a protest. Third, control broadcast. And fourth, influence society, which leads to less awareness. And also there is some advantages. First, controlling of undesirable content. Second, can control the nature of advertisement. Third, can influence opinion.
Yes, there are merits and demerits about it. The government controlling the media. As it's the duty of the government to protect teenagers from modern media as it results in bad for them, like in America, UFC and WWE are shown in which are very violent and dangerous, which can give harm to the mental health of youngsters. But this was the advantage, and there are many more. But there are some disadvantages too. The media now doesn't provide the truth to the audience because the government forces it to do so. And now the government uses it as a benefit to themselves by providing fake news to the audience. But the government should not do so because it violates the rule of freedom, and in the end, people are blindfolded by fake news.
Naz, what are your thoughts about monetization and government regulations over media nowadays?
As a democratic society, we often feel the pride that we are protecting the freedom of media and that they are fully independent and uninfluenced. However, we are often unable to witness the ongoing propaganda and the fact that the media often shows us the government sanctioned images and messages. In such a situation, audiences must become adept at reading between the lines to interpret the real situation.
What I think is that the government should not censor the media. It clearly violates the freedom of speech. We have worked hard for our freedom, and if the government just begins to censor our words and what we believe in, then that is a violation. It also affects the news because they cannot report on the controversial things that happen in today's society. We should be happy to look up and search what we want and shouldn't have restrictions when we are in the appropriate environment for someone to be looking things up.
Media being controlled by the government can be beneficial but can also bring us problems in the future. So it is only what government decides about the outlets and media channels. Being this only, the government forces policies for media to follow under strict regulations, which in turn can bring these media panels with restricted amount of profits, as they are not to decide what to show and what not to. Nowadays, it's only about the viewership from where these outlets can earn. If it's only what the government decides, then they are bound to only act like what the government asks, such as the puppets.
I am in favor of Ahmed's idea and a strong supporter of the fact that media should not be governed by the government, as it is bound to show only those things which government wants us to see.
I want to share the information for the understanding of monetize. Monetize refer to the process of turning a non-revenue generating item into a cash, essentially liquidating an asset or object into legal tender. I also want to share the information for understanding the advantage of controlling media by government. The advantage of controlling media by the government is simply that the government can handle panic in public. They never issue that news, which is cause of rumor.
Yes, today there is much controversy over whether there should or shouldn't be the censorship of media. Censorship should not be imposed on citizens by the government or other agencies. Adults have a right to view or listen what they choose. Additionally, if children's media is censored, parents are the ones who should monitor and regulate it. Parents should be the one who to monitor children's viewing of television and also what they hear on the radio, CD, and tapes.
Ahmed, can media be used to promote terrorism?
Social media and terrorism make a perfect fit due to broad reach and affordability of social media platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and terror groups have increasingly started using media for their further goals and spreading their messages as it's cheap and accessible. Media has made it easy for their groups to engage easily as it was difficult for them in the past. Al Qaeda has been noted as being one of the terror groups that use social media the most extensively. While almost all terror groups have websites, Al Qaeda has fully exploited the internet. The live streamed slaughter of 49 people at two mosques in the Christchurch, New Zealand, which has shined a spotlight on how terrorists employ social media characteristics. Terrorist organizations depend on the open media system of democratic countries to further their goals and spread their messages.
Modern terrorism is media terrorism. The media are attracted by extreme terrorist acts, not only because it is their duty to report on any major event, but also because the dramatic aspect of terrorism fascinates the general public. Terrorism should not affect the importance of freedom of expression and information in the media as one of the essential foundations of a democratic society.
As we know that almost every day news headline and newspaper associate Muslim and Islam with the violence and extremism. The media has been accused of playing a major role in inciting Islamophobia. And this concept of Islamophobia was manifest in various forms of media, like representing Muslim as a threat to Western civilization. We can easily understand the behavior of the media in the case of Westminster Bridge attack, in which the media shows a hijab-wearing woman casually walking past a crime scene. This image sparked great debate and controversy amongst public leaders. The study found that the Mail on Sunday had the most negative coverage of Islam, with 78% of its stories featuring Muslims having negative themes.
Islam today is the most misunderstood religion. It bears the brunt of misconceptions and hate propaganda. Yes, we agree that the maximum damage done to the image of Islam is the international media, which is bombarding misconceptions about it day and night, using an array of strategies. International media, be it print, audio, or online, use a number of strategies to malign Islam by first picking up black sheep of the Muslim community and portraying them as they are exemplary Muslims.
There's no doubt that media could be used to spread phobia against any community, religion, or country. For example, one of the terror attacks occurred that was 9/11. Media blamed Afghanistan and a particular religion, Islam, for this terrorism. But recently, these days, the same media have actually claimed and proved that 9/11 was actually was actually an inside plan. If the media is not governed by unknown forces, then why does the point of view of the anchors keep changing? Like one day he's saying something and the other day he's saying something else. So this means that someone powerful might be behind this who wants to show a bad image of Muslims to the world.
Any debate on Islamophobia and subsequent policy actions to address its needs factors in the role of the media in promoting it. Understanding how the media has portrayed Islam and Muslims is critical to the containing and neutralizing its harmful effects. Media representation of Islam and Muslims, particularly after 9/11, must be engaging the case study. The problem is not the media does not cover the issues of them. What is worrying is that it highlights the negative news involving Muslims more than the positive news.
Yes, Ahmed, even before 9/11, Muslims were portrayed negatively. However, the hostility toward them increased tenfold after the attacks. Western media in general and the American media in particular has used the terrorist and culturist frames in a manner so as to suggest a connection between Muslim and terrorism. There is near consequences on the fact that the Muslims are unable to integrate with Western societies because of their distinct culture and religious identity.
Media and government have both joined their hands with each other to promote Islamophobia. There was a Islamophobic reception allegedly captioned as video. Muslim migrant beats up a Dutch boy on crushes. Shows a Muslim boy beating an innocent civilian in the park. The situation became worse when the US President Donald Trump retweeted the video without any clarification from the Dutch authorities. As such, President Trump was questioned repeatedly as to why he shared such hateful and anti-Muslim content. Later, it was revealed on the evidence of numerous reports and investigations by a Dutch official that the boy was neither a Muslim nor a migrant. Rather, he was a suspect who was born and raised in Netherlands. From this, it is clearly evident that the media is controlled by the unknown. That's why they are broadcasting everything demanded by those the unknowns and defaming our religion.
Now there is
Muddassir, do
no
you have something to add?
Now there is no, hence we have to go into conclusion. Now there is no doubt that the media is being governed by unknown forces, and one of them is government. But there are still many others too which are still hidden. As we discussed, how this government uses media to provide us fake news and benefiting themselves in several ways. Similarly, those entire unknown forces do like this uses media to benefit themselves. We cannot deny the fact that the media has the power to convert black into white and a villain into a hero. Media is now the most dangerous weapon in the world. You can easily start a war with just spreading a fake news. Thank you.